Today's video is going to be all about, I wish I could like move this out the way. Here. I want the heater closer to me anyway because it's freezing. Today's video is going to be all about, I don't think I can leave that on the heater, but it's going to be all about connecting to your spirit guides. So spirit guides are evolved beings that have passed away that come here to help us. I mean, I know for me personally, there's this quote that I love by Frida Kahlo that basically states that she suffered so much in her life that she's like, look, when I go, and I'm butchering this, but it was something along the lines of, when I go, let it be pleasurable and may I never come back. Okay, so I feel that way personally. I want to come here, do all that I came here to do, and evolve. I can't say that I want to come back to this realm. I've had enough, and not to say that in like a super negative way, but I've had my fair share, and the goal is to evolve anyway. I don't want to stay stagnant and keep having to learn the same lessons and keep having to come back more and more and more because I'm so hard-headed, because I'm that hard-headed. That would be ridiculous. And I do believe in reincarnation because when I was a kid, and I shared this in one of my previous videos, but when I was like 7, I was going to Catholic school. My family put me in private school for most of my upbringing, and I remember being in religion class, and they were like, oh, when you die, you either go to heaven, hell, or purgatory. I was already like, oh, hell no. Something about this doesn't feel right. It didn't feel right to my soul, okay? And I remember clearly walking home at 7, and I saw a dog. I was walking like just 2 blocks away. I saw a dog, and I was like, what was I before? I wonder if I was a koala bear. Was I a giraffe? What was so-and-so? Were they, like, what kind of animals were they? Were they a cat? Were they a dog? And this was knowledge that just came into my being, and I can't say it was from somewhere else. Therefore, I believe that's really why I believe in reincarnation, because nobody told me. Nobody told me that we're reincarnated, and so I'm going to believe my soul over what a book is telling me as far as where we go when we die, with this limiting belief of like either or this. Anyway, so today's video is going to be all about connecting with your spirit guides. I believe that when we die, and if we don't have to keep coming back over and over for the cycle, there is the option to evolve and return as a spirit guide. And so because you are of spirit and you are of higher frequency, it is then easy to come into this realm and help people. I mean, I'd rather be doing that than being on the other end having to learn lessons. Now, I know that's not up to me, and I do believe we have a life review when we die. I've seen multiple mediums connect to people who have passed who suggest that when you die, you get reviewed over your life for what you did, and not only what you did, but how you treated others. And not only how you treated others, but how you made them feel. You get to feel that. So if you, for example, killed somebody and you caused pain to so many people around that person, you're not only going to feel the death of the person you murdered, but you will also feel the pain of the people that you hurt around this person. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I want a really good life review, and not only just for my own like personal merit, okay, because genuinely I want to be a good person and know that I did the very best that I could on this plane, but also because I'm not trying to come back like Frida. Okay, I had enough, is how I feel, and if it was up to me, I would evolve to the point where I can come back as a guide. Now, guides are the ones who guide you. That's the best way to put it. They will guide you along your path. So if you need guidance, if you need direction, if you don't know who you should be hanging out with, if you think someone's energy is off, or if you think their intentions towards you are wrong, your guides will steer you in that right direction. So I'm going to give you 5 tips, okay, of how to better connect with your spirit guides. Tip number 1, set an intention. Set an intention that you want to start connecting with your guides. You want them more involved in your life. You want them present. You want their voices to be loud and clear for you. Set that intention, because they're already there, but when you set the intention, it puts a call out to them, and it's like, ding, 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 like I'm ringing a bell, I want you to be present in my life. And so that's what that's about. Set the intention that you want them present, guiding you. It can be specific. Like you can ask like, oh, I want guidance on my school path or on my career or on love, you know, really guide me in that specific area. And you will see signs. You'll see people coming to you. You might be in the middle of a conversation with someone, okay? And their whole language might change. And you're like, you know damn well that's not something they would say. Half the times that's your guides dropping that info into their mouths to relay that information to you so that they can guide you. So that's how they work. So that's tip number 1. 2, be yourself and know your voice. So be as authentic as you can be and really get to know who you are. Know what your thoughts are. Know when you're thinking thoughts. Like I'm still practicing this, you know, because it's easy for us to camouflage and be chameleons and be around certain people and switch things up certain ways. That can be really easy, especially those of us who have had multiple lives here, and it's not our first go around the merry-go. It can be very easy for us because we are so multifaceted beings, which we all are, but some of us, we have a harder time, okay, being one set way or having one set voice. Because you are multidimensional and you are able to tap into multiple frequencies. So know yourself, know what you're thinking, know that those thoughts are yours, know what your voice sounds like, know how you feel about certain things, and know that that can't be swayed. Let me move this. Anyway, so that's number 2. Tip number 3, pay attention to signs, okay? The way the spirit guides communicate are usually through signs. They will put things in your face that will catch your attention. So you can then be like, oh, now I think I'll choose to do it this way instead. And it can be something as simple. I remember as when I was moving to LA, I wasn't sure and I was asking for guidance, not knowing I was asking for guidance from my guides, my spirit guides. And I remember being in a nail salon. I remember this night as like as clear as day. And I was like flipping through a magazine, and sure enough, there's an ad on there that says, go to LA. Living there is amazing. And it was like this whole ad about why living in LA is great. And so I wasn't sure, and I was like, okay, give me a sign if this is what you really want me to do. Creator, universe, okay? Because they're all operating on the same frequency of the universe, these guides. They are of a higher frequency. And so when I left the nail salon, I was driving home, and on the billboard, it was a sign for Kia, but on the Kia, it said like Los Angeles, Hollywood. That's what it was, Hollywood. And I knew right away, I was like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go to the West Coast and hop on a plane and move my whole life across the country. And so I did, you know, but I like to live my life being guided by my guides, because then I can trust that it is in alignment with the higher frequency. So that's tip number 3. Now, tip number 4, trust the information that's coming through to you, okay? Because when the information's coming, if you don't trust it and you act in the opposite way, then your guides will be more reluctant to guide you. Not to say they won't guide you, they will, but it's like knocking on a door and they know no one's going to answer, so why would you keep knocking? I mean, I wouldn't do that, you know? And so listen to the information that's coming, trust it. And tip number 5 that I will say is begin to build a relationship with your guides. Communicate to them, express to them, really build a relationship like you would with any friend or anyone that you have a relationship with. Get to know them, get to know, and you don't need to know their names. You don't need to know what they look like or what they did look like. I mean, they've had many lives and they've transitioned into the ethers, okay? So they are full-blown spirit of high frequency, but get to build with them. You can begin feeding them. I mean, there's this whole concept of feeding ancestors, which is something that's really powerful, and I can do a whole video on that and connecting to your ancestors, because they do play a very similar role. Ancestors and your spirit guides. Basically, the only difference is the ones that are tied to your kin, okay? They came from your lineage. What else will I say? The last thing I'll say is just pay attention to, I don't know if I said this in this video already, but pay attention to if what people are saying around you, because you can get guided in the most unusual ways, and it can be through inspiration. You might see someone or something and you might be so inspired, and just know that your guides have literally orchestrated that whole situation. I was just talking to my friend, the Urban Alchemist, yesterday, who was telling me how, they're a tarot reader at a crystal shop in DC, and they mentioned that they really believe that spirit is the one who sends them these people. And they were relaying this beautiful story of a woman who came of like this angelic field, and they really connected on this whole other plane. That is totally orchestrated by both of their guides. And so a lot of it is being open to what they are here to give you and bring to you. But a lot of it too is you being willing to take it in and receive and trust and move forward with their guidance that they're giving you. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for tuning in and listening. I really appreciate it. And happy journey connecting with your spirit guides. Again, remember, y'all, like, be authentic and true to you, so you know the difference of when the guides are coming in. And the one last thing I'll say, it's a little bonus. Pay attention to when you're not thinking about something and a thought just drops in. Really. Even if you, like, sometimes I have to go back and be like, was I thinking about something that led to this thought? Because then I know it was me. Or was I just walking and I was thinking about nothing, and I just randomly get deposited this idea or a thought? That is your spirit guide. Most people have multiple. We're all born with at least one, okay? And some will stay in our lives for the entirety of our lives, okay? And some will come in during different periods of our lives for certain things. You can be going through something catastrophic, and you might all of a sudden have 5 new guides, because they're ready to combat with you. They're ready to steer you so you can get to your next level that you need to evolve to. Okay, so don't think it's all you. You can't really give yourself all the credit for anything, because we're all spiritual beings, and we're all tied to spirit. We're all tied to creator, and we are not the whole soul creator of everything in our lives. I'm sorry, we're not. We cannot control and create everything, which is a good thing, I think. I like to believe it's great. Thank you for listening. Peace and love, y'all. Check out my website, www.VanessaSoulXO.com. Until next time, ta-ta.